Today is the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty, and so we had decided to join up with several other groups who were going to be doing a march today. Unfortunately, the weather didn't hold, but we felt that because we sleep in a warm bed and are dry, that we could not cancel this because there's still people who are sleeping outside last night who are cold, wet, tired, and hungry. We have over 1,500 homeless, and how many are going to soon to be homeless? People who are paying $700 a month out of their disability checks of $906.42 doesn't leave people enough to buy clothing, get decent food. It allows you to buy really cheap, bad stuff, and people just aren't surviving that well.
A lot of people think that people with disabilities are taken care of, and we wanted to make sure that the general public know that that's generally not true. When we're on income assistance, we're underfunded. We don't have housing available to us. We have to pay more than our income for rent a lot of times, and many of us end up homeless and on the street or next to homeless. There's quite a large population of people with disabilities who couch surf.
Affordable housing and the cost of housing does not only affect people who are poor, it does not only affect the homeless, it does not only affect those on the street, it affects anybody who does not have a high income. The federal government copped out of building housing, I believe it was sometime in the 90s when they changed the cap sharing agreement. And at that time, they used to give over 55% of taxes collected towards housing, dealing with poverty, and they changed that so it's something like 28% and don't deal with housing anymore. We need to get that back, and in fact, Libby Davis, Member of Parliament for the Downtown East Side, has a bill going, and we have petitions here to be signed so that we're going to make housing a priority in Canada. It's not just Victoria that has this.
I'd like to leave a message. This message really about this rally is to keep your eyes open and your mind open. Not everybody who lives on the street is worthless, a non-contributing, leech on society. We are, all of us, one step away from being there. And we don't need to feel better than anybody because we're not there. We should have compassion and really make sure that we have a society that will include everybody and not force people to be excluded like some of us are.
People need to stop stigmatizing the homeless. They need to stop stigmatizing the poor. They need to understand that nobody tries to be disabled. We don't work at it, we don't plan it, we don't do it. It is a crack that you fall into through life circumstance. And society needs to say this needs to change. They have to pressure for housing. They have to demand it. They have to elect governments that will build it. $55,000 a year to have a shelter bed, and you give somebody $4,500 a year to rent an apartment? There's something wrong with those numbers.